What is up, everybody? I need to clean out my thing real quick. So this one, delete how to ego, and this one. Oops. Alrighty, now I have that base covered. Now, hold on, everybody. I need to do something real quick. I'd be reacting to How to Know If You Are on the Right Path by Alex Hormozipart and Chris Williamson. If you want to come back to this video, save and leave a like. If you want to know what other videos I should make and react to, let me know down in the comments. But I am going to go to the bathroom, so I will be right back. But as always, let's get this video off to a good start. I'll be right back. So as always, let's get this video off to a good start and let's continue.
So this is Fame's seesaw. When you're on your way up, everyone roots for you because you remind them of their dream.
When you're on your way up, everyone roots for you because they remind you of their dreams. Whatever these dreams are, whatever people rooting you are for, knowing that whatever we do, because they remind you of their dreams. Because when everybody roots for you, they remind them of their dreams, and when they root for you, they cheer you on. They're the background of the noise that is waiting for the void that is waiting to be happened. When you know the noise, when you know the reminder, when you know the understanding, you may never know where this life will lead you to. And where this life will lead you to is the better understanding to where we use and see fit. Because at the same time, they remind us of our dreams. But at the same time, everybody roots for you because of what you remind them of their dreams, of their goals, of their expectations, of their realizations. Because everyone roots for you because they remind you of their so-called dreams. So, let's continue. I like this video. As of right now, it's a very good video.
Dreams. When you're at the top, everyone tears you down because you remind them that they gave up on them.
When you're on the way down, because they remind them that you gave up on them. Which, whatever these dreams are, for me, my dreams are making my YouTube channel to where I see fit as big as possible. And let's not give up on the dreams that you are going to try to commit to and try to realize for and try to build. Because at the same time we are trying to build, we're trying to collect, we're trying to make the understanding better than what we left it with.
And you have one, which is for anyone who needs a reminder, no one is going to hate.
Because you have one, which for anyone who needs a reminder,
on you for doing worse than them.
reminder that no one is gonna hate on you for doing worse than them because they have their own dreams, they have their own realities, they have their own worse pitfalls, because we all have led a toothless life. We've never bitten into anything, which means nobody's gonna hate you for doing worse than them. The only person that's gonna hate
And this is interesting because kind of like the challenges you face.
It's interesting because it's kind of like the challenges you face within a daily life, within a daily struggle, within a daily pain, within a daily attribute. So now we don't build these attributes to become that better version. We build these attributes to challenge is that you face, like whatever those challenges are. You know what they are on a daily basis. For me, that's recording, and I'm afraid to record a whole entire video because of what will happen and what I will say. Sorry, I'm just looking at my previous things. So let's continue.
In the beginning, you don't have anything to say no to, therefore the woman in the red dress is
You have nothing to say no, which therefore the woman in the red dress is there. It's vulnerable. It's the understanding. It's the path that's waiting to be happened. It's the thing that is waiting to be accepted within the mentality of you are trying to build. Hopefully that makes sense, because it makes sense to me. But, bit of a disclaimer, I really hope Chris and Hormozi are listening to this video right now, because I would love their advice, I'd love their critiques, I'd love just everything that they'd have to say about it. So if they're listening to this video, hopefully that they enjoy this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, because I don't like to waste my time. So you don't either. So let's continue.
easy to say no to, or there are fewer women.
Yeah.
This is a challenge that nobody is going to give you any sympathy for.
Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just tired. Which, like I always say, I will work until my eyes bleed, until my mouth won't stop yapping. Stop yapping. I will not stop. I will never stop. So let's continue. So, "9 minutes for a 30 to 40-second video." That deserves a round of applause for me. Was not expecting to make it that into detail and that much in depth. but I'm going to have to try to finish this within 20 minutes. So hopefully I won't try to ramble for too much, because I know I like to do that a lot, but who really cares? Let's continue.
Yeah. It's a very unique category of challenge because the total addressable market for sympathy is basically zero.
Because the total addressable market for sympathy is basically zero. Because when you try to be sympathy, or have, what is it called? If you have too much sympathy is basically at zero, then you may never know where this life will lead you to. And where this life will lead you to is the better understanding of what you are truly trying to unlock, say, believe, and achieve. And without not knowing what our total addressable market for sympathy is basically at a volume of zero, then you may never know where this life will lead you to. Where my life will lead you to is hopefully making more content for y'all, not stopping, not allowing anybody to control me or whatever the hell. Let's continue.
Everybody is on their way up, and very few people are at the top.
Because there are very few people at the top, and when they're at the top, they're giving you advice, they're giving you opinions, they're giving you ideas, they're giving you reframes. And to this reframe, you see it from their own shoes and their own picture of their own story. Which that's the only point, is looking at things by their own story, for their own story, because they have a story. And through this, we may never know where this life will lead us to, which is the best part about life, in my personal opinion, is allowing us to not struggle when we need to struggle. Allowing us to take away the pain when we need to see the pain for what it truly is. And without knowing what we are truly trying to unlock, say, or do, then we may never know what this life will lead us to. And what this life will lead us to, it will lead us to representations, changing visual mass, changing who you are, changing what you're trying to believe, changing what you're trying to achieve. I have to move this up here because I'd rather be looking at myself right here versus down there. Feel me? Top. Because very few people at the top are cheering you on, giving you the motivation, giving you the discipline, giving you the outcomes of what you are truly needing it to be.
And the people that are at the top are seen as having a degree of privilege.
And the people at the top are seen of having a degree of privilege
that almost legitimates you twisting the knife.
That almost legitimates you twisting the knife and making it more aggressive and more pulling and more deficient or inefficient or efficient. I said 3 things of the same word. Fuck. Efficiency. Whatever efficient thing gets you to the point, gets you to the end goal, gets you to the realization, then you may know what that efficiency is going to. So I have 15 minutes until I gotta take my dog for a walk, and then I'll come back to record.
Are you poking the finger? This is how public figures can have normal everyday people on Twitter say unspeakable, like heinous things to them, dehumanizing things, because they do not see them as human. Right. They don't see them as a person. There is no person on the other side of this. They're a representation. They're a menagerie of ideas.
Mm-hmm. I was not expecting Mr. Williamson to go that deep here for a second. Wow. Okay. The representation that there are a menagerie of ideas, therefore, whatever the menagerie of ideas is, we must know that we are trying to build the idea, see the idea, become the idea, because we have that vision, we have that determination, we have that dream, we have that undeniable outcome that is waiting for us to happen. And whatever is waiting for us to happen is waiting for us to say, and waiting for us to say is waiting for us to be spoken to. And whatever it is we are trying to speak to, speak about, speak for, speak willingly, we know that we must try, do, become, achieve, do. Because without becoming and achieving, then those ideas will perish within the space of time and reality. Which, if you think you have time as a 21-year-old, you do not. By the time you're 21, you'll turn 25. By the time you're 25, you'll be 30. And by the time you're 30, you'll be 40. When you say you have time, you do not have time. You do not have fucking time. I've seen people waste their years, waste their time, waste their energy based around things that they think they could get, when all the time matters is that you have so little of it. So don't waste another week, because you have 2,400 weeks. That is all the what you are, and what you are is what you want to achieve by. So let's continue.
Therefore, I can say whatever I want to them because they're not really a person.
Woo! Woo! I was not expecting that, Mr. Williamson. I was not expecting that deep of a quote. So whatever I want them, because they're not really a real person. Whatever is reality, whatever is real, whatever is feasible, whatever is pleasable within your own standards, competition, and beliefs, you must note that they are a real person and they see the same thing that you see in their own lens and in their own eyes of seeing that thing.
But they are. And the fact that
Base 44 super agents. Careful, there's no going back. No setup. Just say hello.
before there is any status associated with tearing you down,
Ooh.
no one is incentivized to tear you down.
No one is incentivized.
And you haven't changed. Fuck, dude.
No one is incentivized to tear you down, and you haven't changed. Which means you must change, you must realize, you must overcome, you must do, you must become, you must achieve, you must do. Because if you do not achieve these goals, other people will achieve it before you ever will. Which, do you want that? No. Number two, no one will tear you down because they incentivize to tear you down and never quit and never stop until you are within the rock bottom. Call your friends, we can sing under the stars of the sunset pale when they're calling in my arms. So don't you worry about me. So there's one more drink, two-step with a slide. Now the words in the stands feeling rise, and they're missing another storm with the days going by.
The Lewis Capaldi documentary, I've watched this twice now. No, Lewis suffering a lot with mental health. Makes this first album and billions of streams, world tour, phenomenal. And he's playing songs that he wrote in 2017 and played in working men's pubs around Scotland. Same guy.
Yeah.
The same guy. And maybe his production's improved, maybe his recording quality's improved, he's got better mastering and his voice coaching's got a bit better, but he's largely the same person. He hasn't changed. And he has this quote halfway through, and it really spoke to me, and he said, "Fame doesn't change you, it just changes everybody around you."
Yeah.
Well said, Lewis Capaldi. Holy wow. I was not expecting it to get that deep in the raw minerals of deepness of the soul. I gotta sneeze. I guess I don't gotta sneeze. Fame does not change you, it changes everybody around you. If fame changes you, and when it changes you, it changes everybody around you, it changes who you become, changes who you are, changes what you are trying to become. Same thing. You get the gist of what I'm saying. So let's continue.
And that, when you're on your way up, everyone roots for you because you remind them of their dreams. When you're at the top, everyone tears you down because you remind them that they gave up on them.
Everyone tears you down because you remind them that they gave up on their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, their beliefs. They gave up on everything. And when they gave up on everything, then you don't know where this life will lead you to, which is the best part, in my personal opinion, is of the unknown and of the void. Whatever the unknown is, whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, goal, do, make, think, act. Number two, the void. Whatever the void is, whatever that constant action, constant peak of interest, of lovely of doing things, of whatever it is you want to call it, people will tear you down and break you apart in a million pieces, which means it depends upon how you act and what you react within the interaction of your life, of your goals, of your reality, of your beliefs. Because at the same time and at the same day, we all know with what we are trying to achieve, become, and grow, because we know that we are all trying to do more than what we are achieving for. And whatever it is we're achieving for, whatever it is we're trying to not tear ourselves down, break ourselves into a million pieces, it determines how we are, how we act, how we do, what we think, and how we react. Sorry. I said what we think twice. That would have not been good, my personal opinion. My personal opinion, being honest. But if everybody tears you down because they remind you that you gave up on your dreams, then what is the point in continually on making this a reality? What's the point in making this a goal, making this a happenstance, making this a belief, making this a reality? So, let's continue. Because I still have 7 minutes until I gotta take my dog for a walk. Then after that, I'll come back and record, and we will see where these next videos lead me to. I really hope that they go deep like this one. Well said by Chris, well said by Hormozi. Just to give them a little bit of a more motivation if they are listening to this, me making this video. That'd be pretty funny if they were out there and be like, I wonder who this fabulous content creator is, or I wonder how deep this kid could really go, or how much he could really unravel. I have no idea, they have no idea, and we will see where this goes and leads to. Because I would love to be on Chris's podcast just talking about my content. I would love that. And Hormozi's content, because then the business is doing so good. Hopes and dreams, right? Hopes and dreams. It's what America was built off of. Hoorah. That requires a Marine's hoorah at the end of the day. Because hopes and dreams can be destroyed and can be inflected on many reasons to points of interest. But as always, like I stated, I have 6 minutes left to make this the best video as humanly possible. So let's go.
That spoke to me.
I wrote an essay on this because I'm a
Psychopath?
yeah.
Yep.
When I was a
Everybody's a psychopath. That's why I laughed. I was not expecting them to go that deep. Oh, wow. Wow, I was not expecting that at all. At all. Let's continue. Wow.
gym owner. So a lot of people don't know this, but I got a writing scholarship in college. Like I was a vice president of the newspaper. I was
Congrats. I didn't realize he was VP of a newspaper. Congrats, Hormozi. Means a lot. Baffled you were VP. Was not expecting you VP of a newspaper. Good shit.
editor of the creative writing magazine. So like I've been writing for a long time. I enjoy writing. And I wrote this essay. I said, I think the title of it was, Everyone Believes in the American Dream Until It Comes True. And I remember because what had happened was everybody, when I was sleeping on the gym floor, right? Like, you know, I was the underdog, and everyone, you know, my clients were all like, oh, good for you. You know, you're going after your dream. And they'd see my blanket and my pillow in the corner of the gym, and they knew I was sleeping there. And it was evident, you know, I lived there. I didn't have a shower. I didn't have a shower to go to the YMCA. I had to go shower. And that
As a person that worked at a YMCA camp, oh my God, those showers were disgusting. And most importantly, we were using water that had rust in it and smelled like a whole bunch of crap. So you smelled like rust directly after you took a shower. It was not fun. Let's continue.
everybody was like pro me, and then people would come in, they sign up like, I'm gonna support you, right? And then within 9 months, I had hired people and I had a manager, and I pulled up. And I remember I walked in the lobby, and all the same people were like, "Oh, boss man's here. Oh, you're not too good for us now, right?" And I remember being so jarred by the experience, and I was like, "You guys rooted for me," and I was like, "And now I did what you said you were rooting for me
Well said.
Me to do.
Well said. Well said. And now I do, or I did what you said you were rooting me for me to do. Whatever your dreams, whatever your goals, whatever your outcomes are, don't allow other people to downgrade. Put anything within criticism, downgrade, criticism, whatever it is. Don't allow other people to downgrade it. Understood? Understood. And when they were rooting for me, like, nobody's rooting for me. The only people that are rooting for me are my grandparents who look at some of my videos. When I send them it, they watch them. So, yeah. My grandparents listening to this, love you both. Was not expecting myself to make this far into this journey, and I was not expecting myself to make this amount of content within this journey, which means I will not stop trying to post 15 times per day. I will not until I make 15 million subscribers, which I know it's possible. 15 million, I know it's possible, which means if all I have is time and all I have is realizations, then why am I wasting my time to begin with? Why are you wasting your time to begin with? Why are we all wasting our time to begin with? Because we have goals, we have dreams, we have aspirations that are waiting to happen. So don't allow other people to waste and do those things before you ever do. Which is why I'm trying to post 15 times per day, but it's pretty difficult to do that when I have little kids knocking on my door asking me if I can play and come outside, and then I hang out with them for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I lose track of time, and it's just, yeah, whatever. You get the vibes.
And that was one.
I'm stopping this when it hits 6 minutes, y'all. So we have 2 more minutes left of this. So let's go. Because theoretically, I should be done right now, but I'm giving myself a little bit of a grace period so I can finish this part 2 after.
I realized that
That's the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish every single part 1 in the full video fully. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to see if it blows up, which it probably won't. This probably won't. I'm hoping I get 30 views, which means that's all my subscriber count is watching my videos. So thank you for staying along with me for this journey. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for thinking of me, because I know I'm not in this alone. So let's continue. Like I said, I'm giving myself 2 minutes. That's all I'm giving myself.
people want you to do well, but not better than them.
Bloody fuck, right when I said I'm giving myself 2 minutes, you realize that people want you to do well, but not better than them. I don't need to state that anymore, I don't think. Because he stated that very well. Extremely well. That requires a good fucking shit, Hormozi. I can't swear because the kids are outside, so good fucking shit. Glad you know that you are trying to do better than them, even though when they want you to do well. That's my little outtake for this moment. Ooh.
And I was like, I had gone from underdog to the man. And I was like, when does that happen? And the litmus test of when it happens is depends on who the person is.
Well said. Well said. The limit test, it depends upon when it happens, it depends upon who the person is truly becoming, who the person truly is, who the person is wanting to become, because why? There is always another answer of why. There's always another answer of how. There's always another answer of what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to act? How are you trying to think? All comes from a definition of why, how, who, what, and where. The main English conversation starters. Who, what, when, where, and why, how. Why are you trying to become? Who are you trying to become? What are you trying to say, and how are you trying to say it? Depends on how we articulate it, how we do it, how we think it, how we act it. That just gives me the sum of what I'm trying to do.
Because for the person who was working at my gym who, you know, was a janitor or a cleaner, it happened really quick, right? For the people who were more successful, it took longer. And then, the only people at the end who would still root for me were the business owners who were doing way better than me, right? Who were still members of my gym. And so that was a really interesting experience that happened when I was 23. And that was the first time I went from underdog to the person that someone would want to attack. But I had a performance coach tell me this. He said, hatred isn't something you avoid.
Hatred isn't something you avoid. It's something you conquer, something you do, something you love doing. Because if you are building with a field of hatred, you have fear, you have anxiety, you have depression, you have anxiousness. Same thing as anxiety. But you have to avoid it because it's not something that you are wanting to do. And if you hate it, you love it when you become more skilled at it. When you become more skilled, it becomes more tools in the tool belt. It becomes more weapons of your next mass destruction. Hopefully that makes sense.
He said, it is a requisite for success. He said, if you get no hate, you are not successful. And for some reason, that...
And if you get no hate, then that means that you are not successful. I don't need to state this any more than what he already stated. Which means 3 claps for a well-said Hormozi right there. Was not expecting that, Hormozi. Was not expecting that at all for you to go that deep. But let's continue.
Just like really stuck with me, because then it just, like, rather than it being this thing that I was trying to avoid, it actually became a leading indicator, or an indicator that I was on the right path in achieving things. And so I think that's why, I mean, I don't want to toot horns or anything. But in terms of like my ability to deal with the naysayers and things like that, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. Like, it doesn't really bug me very much. And I think in large part, it was because of how it's framed, at least how, in this discussion, how it was framed for me early on, which is that no one hates you from above. And even when I think,
no one hates you from above. Nobody is down at the bottom cheering you on, because the only people that are cheering you on is people that you care about, and people that are wanting you to get better, wanting you to see the version, wanting you to become that person, wanting you to say the things you want to state. You only hate or get the hate when you bend the knee to the conformity of their own standards. So don't bend the knee, don't bend the conformity, and don't pack the snowball into their own conformity of their own standards. Hopefully that makes sense.
Back about like the bullies and whatnot that you had earlier. Like,
all right, that's all I have for you guys. Leave a like and save to come back to this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, stay yourself, be you, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll record part 2 at the when I come back from my walk. Sounds good? Sounds good. See you guys in the next one. Peace.